What's the most ridiculous thing you ever got in trouble for at school? You know how every school has those unspoken rules? The ones that aren't in the student handbook but everyone knows not to break? Yeah, mine had a big one. Don't challenge Mrs. Crabtree. Mrs. Crabtree was the old school, ruler-wielding, stern-faced history teacher who everyone was terrified of. Whispers about her legendary temper and the students who dared cross her. So for 2 years, I made sure to be invisible in her class. Sit in the back, don't make eye contact, just survive. One day we were taking a test, a really tough one. The classroom was dead silent, except for the frantic scribbling of pens. I was stuck on one question, staring at it, when my pencil point broke. Of course, I didn't have a spare. My heart sank. Asking for a pencil meant breaking the silence, drawing attention, facing the wrath of Crabtree. But I couldn't finish the test without one. Hesitantly, I raised my hand, slowly, like I was lifting a bomb. Mrs. Crabtree's head snapped up, her eyes narrowing. The entire class collectively held their breath. "Yes, Mr. Henderson," she said, her voice like ice. My pencil broke, Mrs. Crabtree. Can I borrow one?" A gasp rippled through the classroom. Asking for a utility during a test? The audacity! It was a minor thing, right? A broken pencil? But in that classroom, it felt like I'd just declared war. Mrs. Crabtree stared at me for what felt like an eternity. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a sharp pencil. Finally, she let out a long, slow sigh that sounded like a deflating balloon. "Mr. Henderson," she said, her voice dangerously low, "you know the rules." The rules? There was no rule about broken pencils. I was about to say something, defend myself, when she pointed to the door. The office. Now, I was sent to the office for a broken pencil. The vice principal, a much more reasonable human being, just shook his head and gave me a spare. But the sheer absurdity of it stuck with me. Getting in trouble. Not for cheating, not for talking, but for a broken pencil point during a test with Mrs. Crabtree. It wasn't about the pencil. It was about challenging her authority, about disrupting the silent, terrified order of her classroom. It was a power play, a demonstration of who was in charge. And in that moment, I realized that school wasn't always about learning. Sometimes it was about navigating these weird, petty power structures and trying not to get crushed by them. And sometimes a broken pencil is all it takes to expose how ridiculous they can be.
Gummy Reads!